Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3319. Today's date is 27 of January 2025. It's been almost like a night at 10 p.m. All right, we directly jump into the question. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, yeah. Question is, what one positive thing you ever done for someone else today? Okay, positive thing for someone else today. What is actually something positive things that I did for someone else? Positive thing. Well, I don't know, yaar. Okay, okay. By the way, if you are kind of like a somebody getting some sort of noises, is because of that he there is kind of like some dance competition is actually happened nearby. So because of that, little bit of noises is actually here. Whatever, it's not really that much, but still. Okay, but what is actually the kind of like a something is a very positive thing that I did for the people? Okay, yeah. Um. Uh, okay, not for today, for entire lifetime. Okay, have you ever done kind of like a something very positive stuff? Okay, yeah. It's a very kind of like a something very hard to think, but there is a one moment that I wanted to mention. Okay, is it positive or not? I'm not really sure. Okay, by the way, I mentioned this thing in Artifact episode, maybe last Artifact episode, but I still wanted to talk about this thing because it actually resonate a lot. Okay, what is that? Is this thing that came a couple of days ago. Yeah, actually, couple of weeks ago. I'm actually I usually went to running at public playground. Oh yeah, it's a kind of like a simple stadium at my city. So I usually went running every single day. I'm doing this thing for almost like a three and a half in year. Okay, yeah, almost like a 4 year. I'm running over there. Okay, yeah. It's a kind of like a public playground. Okay, it has a kind of like a simply very big lights and things like that. Usually in that playground, event is actually organized. What kind of like event? Like a cricket event, football event. Like basically this thing, it's a kind of like a matches was actually happened. Okay, yeah, district level, state level, kind of like a something. The matches was kind of like executed over there. Okay, yeah. So basically there is a kind of like something really match was actually happened. It's a maybe cricket or football. I'm not really sure. Okay, yeah. At the day one, okay, yeah, they are actually started doing the matches. Okay, yeah. I was literally kind of like something very confused because this match is a kind of like a something very maybe state level match. Maybe I'm not really sure. Yeah, but usually in any sport event, national anthem is actually happened. Okay, yeah, but they didn't really conduct the national anthem. I don't know. Maybe like they might be busy or forgotten something like that. So at the day one, I was literally kind of like curious about why they didn't really conduct the national anthem because it's a part of that sports event. Okay, yeah, and it should supposed to be represent the sporting spirits and actually represent the nation and things like that. So it has to be happened. The national anthem should supposed to be happen. So at the day one, I was kind of like somebody very bit fumble and something like that. I don't know. It's literally bothering to me a lot. At next day, I was kind of like a decided that ki let's go to the organizer and talk to that. Okay, yeah. Like I don't know, like basically how would I supposed to do that? It's a kind of like a simply organizer who is actually kind of like a so much busy and things like that, and might be he will not gonna listen to me, or maybe like I don't know. Yeah, it's a kind of like some very weird request and things like that. But I don't know. My guts told me that yeah, I have to talk to the organizer. Yeah, I have to talk to the organizer. What is actually most worst thing gonna happen? Like might be they will not conduct the national anthem. yeah, that is also fine. Yeah, like basically, I don't know, they have some sort of protocol, I don't know, yeah. But it's just like that na ki I like there is a one kind of like a something the duty regarding about my kind of like a something some regarding about my country is that ki national anthem should supposed to be happen at the sporting event. So I was kind of like decided that ki let's go, that my guts told me you have to do this thing. So I went directly to the organizer. Okay, uh, and I just say that ki hello sir, may I make a request? Okay, and he says yeah, sure, yeah, and I sir can you conduct the national anthem before the match? Okay, yeah, it's a kind of like something request, maybe like yeah, they would say yeah, we definitely we're gonna conduct the national anthem, they say that. Okay, yeah, and it was kind of like a something that okay, yeah, they will gonna conduct the national anthem, all right. So I was bitterly curious about will be kind of like a something they conduct the national anthem or not. Okay, yeah, it's been almost like a 15-minute match haven't been started, but still is this thing that will they kind of like conduct the national anthem or not. Okay, yeah, but at the beginning of the match they conduct the national anthem. Okay, yeah, and when they conduct the national anthem I feel so good, so kind of like a something very positivity inside of me that I can't tell you. And I was also proud as well, as because at that time I was kind of like a something is this thing that ki this national anthem is actually happened because of me, because I mentioned to the organizer say that ki national anthem should supposed to be happen and it happened. Okay, and as also when the national anthem happened everyone is actually stand still at the ground. Okay, like everyone is kind of like a playing basketball, everything, everyone. But like when the national anthem started everyone is actually stand still at his own place and kind of like looking at the flag, and they were kind of like doing the national anthem at that place. Like it was kind of like a something very amazing moment at that time. I don't know how to supposed to say, like basically it's a kind of like a everyone is statue at the same time. This exactly same thing happened at when the national anthem conducted. It was like really good and it felt so proud for me because of that ki I kind of like something say this thing to the organizer and it actually happened. It felt really good, really really good. Okay, yeah, I'm not really sure like it's kind of like a something positivity for people and things like that, but still it is a kind of like a something kind of like a something action towards to do regarding about my country, and I don't know is it positive or not. It's a kind of like a things that I wanted to do. Okay, and I did it. Okay, if they didn't really conduct the national anthem, okay, that's fine. Okay, my responsibility is to kind of like a tell to the organizer and did it. Okay, yeah, if the organizer have kind of like a some sort of busy schedule and something like that, or they didn't really conduct the national anthem, it's their choice. Okay, I didn't really own that particular competition event and stuff like that, but there is a one responsibility that I have to tell to told the things to the organizer and did it. And then after that conduct national anthem happened. It was like really amazing thing. So I'm gonna say it's a kind of like it's only one of the most amazing positivity that I did, and it felt really good, really really good. Okay, yeah. So do you understand now what is actually kind of like a something the positivity thing? All right, yeah. So now MI did kind of like a something very positive thing to the people. Okay, uh let's there is couple of kind of like a something action which kind of like a something represent positivity towards people. Okay, yeah, what is that action? Listening with empathy. Oh, yeah, what exactly is this thing? Listening with empathy means like that ki you are actually listening to the other what they are actually saying. Okay, yeah, and empathy means like that ki like a try to understand very like eagerly, just understand what exactly he was kind of like a saying this thing, or other person kind of like a saying this thing. Okay, yeah. So like is this kind of like a some positivity gesture to the people? Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, because I don't know, like basically is this thing na ki some people are kind of like a wanted to talk, they don't really listen. Okay, yeah, basically is this thing the communication is not just a part of talking. Okay, communication is also kind of like a somebody listening too. Okay, yeah, how well you listening is kind of like a represent how good is your communication. Okay, and it is really essential. All right, yeah. So am I kind of like a listen that particular communication, am I kind of like a somebody listen that particular person who is actually saying this thing, and with empathy, with kind of like a full understanding, am I ever did that? Yes, I did that. Okay, yeah. One of my friend who is actually kind of like giving me little bit idea regarding about my YouTube video titles, okay, regarding about my YouTube content, like what kind of like a content should I supposed to be make and things like that. Okay, yeah, I listened to them. Okay, yeah, sometimes his idea was really incredible and really unique. Okay, yeah, so I listened to them very understandingly and very empathically. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is kind of like a something gesture I do towards the people to represent little bit of something like positivity. Okay, yeah. And as also is this thing as kind of like a something, I have little bit of something thought process regarding about communication. Okay, yeah. I didn't really like when I communicate, when I try to communicate with the people. Okay, yeah, I usually most of the time I was listening. Oh yeah, like in the artifact, you are kind of like a listening things, because yeah, I'm actually saying this thing because when you meet in person, to me, you hardly even find me that much talking, because I'm very kind of like a somebody very less talking person, and I usually talk at kind of like a somebody very essential topic. Okay, yeah, when there is kind of like a somebody essential topic, or when there is kind of like a somebody required me to say some sort of things, then I say that thing. Okay, yeah, instead of that, I didn't really talk kind of like a somebody very just without any stuff like that. Yeah, but my I don't know, yeah, it's a kind of like a somebody this thing that you are actually saying this thing and you are talking stupid shit in this artifact episode. How would you say this thing? I don't know. I'm talking about when you meet me in person. Okay, yeah. So usually is this thing कि I usually kind of like a listen all the time. Okay, and I usually listen kind of like a somebody very kind of like a somebody try to understand the positivity, try to understand the perspective. Okay, what is actually the perspective? All right, yeah. So um, there is a guy. Okay, yeah, there is a guy who is actually talking about how do we supposed to get US citizen. Okay, yeah. So basically there is a couple of people who is actually talking about the how do we supposed to get the US citizen, and they are actually talking about that key you have to talk to the you have to went to the US, stay there for almost like a couple of year in the visa. Okay, then you have to married with a US girl. Okay, yeah, then you will get kind of like some citizenship in the US and things like that. Okay, yeah, we are actually like a this kind of like a some conversation is actually happened couple of days ago with my friend. Okay, yeah, and and basically it's a kind of like a something just talking about how do we supposed to get the US citizenship. Okay, yeah, and as also we are actually trying to compare with the Canadian citizenship and Australian citizenship, and basically how do we supposed to get that kind of like some citizenship as an Indian. Yeah, so so we are actually talking about that. So there is a one guy who is there is a one of my friend who is actually talking shit. Okay, yeah. Basically literally shit. Okay, yeah, he doesn't really have any kind of like some information regarding about what he was saying. Okay, he was saying this thing that he yeah, like you just have to went to the visa. Okay, so you just have to went to the visa. Okay, don't tell the immigration people that ki you kind of like a something your visa is expired, something like that. You just kind of like a something just lost, means like that ki you just blend with the community of the people and things like that. And there are so many agents are over there, they are kind of like somebody help you to get that kind of like some citizenship in the US and things like that. Okay, you have to create the fake document over there and you will get kind of like somebody very easily yeah, US citizenship. Okay, yeah. He was talking kind of like somebody so confidently that he was kind of like saying this, he was kind of like I just feel the gravity of it. Okay, yeah. Okay, that he knows, like he kind of like somebody as an experience, like when you kind of like somebody experience some sort of stuff, and when we kind of like share those experience with the people, we have some sort of gravity we actually express all those things with the gravity, with the emotions and things like that. He was kind of like something like express those things with the, all those emotions and stuff like that. Man, what the fuck is this? Okay, like basically I told him, did you actually did it that stuff? No, he didn't read it that stuff. Like, why? Like I just watched a couple of YouTube videos and they mentioned that this is the way that you're gonna get US citizenship. Like what the fuck was that, dude? This is completely illegal, dude. Okay, creating fake documents and something like that, it's not really that, it's a really bad, nah, it's, you shouldn't supposed to do that. Okay, yeah. But the way that he was actually telling na, like basically am I kind of like something inside of it, I just literally know that this person is lying. Okay, yeah. But when I see his confidence level, dude, oh my god, I'm just thinking about his, I'm just kind of like something really impressed by the way that he was saying and way that he was kind of like try to telling about this stuff and that stuff. Like basically literally he was actually talking about, no, you just have to went to the like a Washington DC, and then you have to meet this agent, and then basically he was kind of like a do some sort of stuff, as also as you are Indian na, so basically your skin tone is bitterly dark and stuff like that, so you just have to do some sort of Botox surgery and stuff like that, so your skin became little bit of fair, so you actually represent some sort of like a US citizen or British Indian British citizen, and you actually went to the US and stuff like that, and you just create some sort of fake document and stuff like that. And I don't know, the way that he was saying this thing, I was thinking about his point of perspective, what the fuck was he was saying. Literally. Okay, and I am not the only one who is actually kind of like getting this experience. You also kind of like know that there is couple of people who is kind of like saying this thing live with so confidently. You know that this person is lying. But when that person is actually saying that line so confident, you was literally impressed by that. Oh my god, what was that? Really amazing. Okay, you definitely met those people in your life. Okay. Okay. But still, it's kind of like a somebody gesture to kind of like a somebody being positive to the other. I don't know. But when I try to listen that particular shit stuff, oh my, like basically I was kind of like talking to my another friend. He was like, भाई ये तो पूरा झूठ बोल रहा है यार, ये पूरा फेंक रहा है. But you're confidently fake, right, dude? I was like, what the fuck was that? Creating fake document and stuff, like भाई क्या बड़े बड़े शब्द, like a way that he was actually saying this thing na, like he was using very big word like FBI things, and then basically we file the report at the FBI and stuff like that, and we create kind of like a some license for kind of like a some little document for store and things like that, and we actually creating a kind of like a fake document to represent that we are been here country for almost like a 20 year, and we actually represent our father is actually from US and mother is actually from India, so there is so much. Like the way that he was actually saying, oh my god, like a basically na, like how does salesperson actually kind of like a try to tell you, try to think about that how is their product is as good as possible. He was that kind of like a only person. I was like blown by the things that he was lying. Oh my god. Yeah, and definitely it was like a really amazing. Okay, yeah. All right. So there is also another gesture to represent positivity towards other. Okay, yeah. What is another gesture? Offering encouragement. What's offering encouragement? I gave someone a genuine compliment in words of encouragement. Oh yeah, that is really good. Okay, genuine compliment. Okay, yeah. Have you ever did kind of like a something very genuine compliment to the other? I did. I did. Yeah. But let me tell you one thing now. The compliment is a kind of like a something very heavy words. Okay, yeah. And you should supposed to be use that word very, very wisely. Okay, yeah. Because let me tell you one thing. If you kind of like a something do the compliment every day, okay, yeah, like every hour or kind of like a something, that compliment doesn't feel like compliment. It's kind of like a feel like a fake. Okay, yeah. And when the compliment feel really fake now, then it doesn't feel like it's a compliment. It's a kind of like a something feel like a something really bezati, or feel like a something discouragement, something like that. Okay, yeah. So it is really essential to be the whatever the compliment that you should supposed to be give to the people, that person should supposed to be kind of like a simply have that credibility for that particular compliment. And as also you represent that compliment with a very like timing is also really essential too. Okay, yeah. Because I don't know, yaar. Okay, because like it's a kind of like something is this thing na कि compliment should supposed to be get very very less. Okay, the why the compliment is kind of like a something so important to the people is because of that it's kind of like available so much rare. Okay, like ask anyone that ki when they get last time compliment, they mention that ki maybe years ago or something like that. Okay, because compliment is kind of like something that you get very rarely. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing you have to be represent that gesture as a very rarely too. Okay, yeah. Like spare that compliment to the such a people who is really idealist. He's kind of like a somebody that particular exact that person, he kind of like a represent for that compliment, then you should supposed to do that. Okay, yeah. So now I'm gonna ask to my question is this thing that am I ever did kind of like a somebody any compliment to the other. Am I ever did any compliment to the other? Okay, yeah. I did. Yeah, I did. Yes. But it's a very rarely. Okay, yeah. Like basically is this thing that ki there is a like a basically like one of my friend who is kind of like a looking really well at his kind of like a something share one things like that. So I would mention that you look really good. Okay, yeah. But let me tell you one thing regarding about the compliment. I also kind of like somebody receive very 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 less a compliment, and I gave a very 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 less a compliment to the other. Okay, yeah, like I don't know, yeah, like last time I give any compliment to the other is like I don't know, yeah. Okay, it's a kind of like a somebody very good gesture to give the compliment. Okay, yeah, but still na it's okay, let me tell you one thing na ki usually in my daily routine I haven't really that much encountered to the people that much. Okay, yeah. Usually I encountered with the very less people in everyday basis. Okay, so that's why I didn't really have that much kind of like assembly get that much compliment. Let me tell you one thing. I get the compliment in the social media, like when I upload some sort of photos and videos and stuff like that. People are giving me your content is really good, but these are compliment are kind of like a social media compliment. Okay, yeah. And I don't know, it's yeah, those are the words are also really important too. Those are like a really heavy words too, but still um uh I'm talking about as a compliment, as a face to face compliment. Okay, yeah. Is a text format compliment is I don't know, yeah. I don't really get that much gravity regarding about like there is a like there is one man. Sorry, there is kind of like a only person who is actually commenting in my video that, dude, your content was so good, so amazing, and it was like really crazy, and you made your content is actually made my day and stuff like that. I feel really good. I feel really good. Yeah, but definitely let me tell you one thing now. Ki this compliment is kind of like a something is good. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention that that compliment is not that good. It's really good, but still in I'm talking about kind of like a face to face compliment. Okay, because the gravity that I feel on the face to face compliment is far more better than a text compliment. Okay, just my point of perspective. All right, yeah. But am I ever kind of like a did a kind of like a something very kind of like a something very compliment gesture to the other, like offering encouragement or stuff like that? Very rarely. Yeah, very rarely. Okay, yeah. Share knowledge or help. Okay, yeah. Share knowledge. Am I ever kind of like some share some sort of knowledge to the people or giving some sort of help to the people? Am I ever did that? Help. I did some sort of help to the people. Okay, yeah, definitely. But okay, yeah. So share knowledge or kind of like something help. Am I ever did that? am I kind of like a share some sort of knowledge to the people? Well, okay, yeah. This is kind of like a something the artifact episode that you are actually listening is kind of like some self talk. Am I actually sharing some sort of knowledge in here? I don't know. I'm kind of like a sharing my personal experience here. Okay, yeah. It's not knowledge. It's a kind of like a something my perspective looking at the world. What exactly is this thing? All right. Yeah. So regarding about any help, like am I kind of like a give some sort of help to the people? Help also. Yeah, like there is a kind of like a somebody blind lady, not blind lady, it's a kind of like a somebody very old lady. Okay, yeah. I helped that old lady to cross the road. Okay, yeah. But help that lady to cross the road, but still, is it kind of like a something the being called positivity to the other? Yeah, it's a kind of like a something very small gesture, but I did it. Okay, yeah. It felt really good, yeah, when I kind of like somebody helped that old lady to cross the road. But it's yeah. Okay, yeah. Am I really bad person? Like like basically, am I kind of like a somebody did kind of like a somebody very like regarding about all those activities? Am I never really did any kind of like somebody positivity things to the people? Okay. I'm trying very deep. I'm trying very deep inside to me that ki, am I did any kind of like a somebody very positive things to the people? No. Like okay, let me tell you one thing now. There is a couple of thing inside of me. Okay, yeah. What is exactly things? Okay, yeah. Um, um, okay. Let me tell you one thing. I never really argue with anyone. Okay, yeah. Basically, is this thing na ki argument is a kind of like a something stuff that you do when you have kind of like a lack of information or lack of confidence. Okay, yeah. Um, like basically is this thing na ki let me tell you one thing. I try to compare myself with my sibling. Okay, yeah. My sibling is a very like very hyper something like she argue a lot. Like my sister is argue a lot with my father and things like that. As also she argue with my mother a lot too. Okay, yeah. But I never really argue with my parents. I never really argue with my father. I never really argue with kind of like a stuff. Even if something really very crazy should happen, even if kind of like a simply how right I am not actually considered to be kind of like a doing any kind of like some argument, or I'm not actually considered that I should supposed to be say some sort of thing to the my parents and stuff like that. As also same attitude towards people around me too. Okay, yeah. I kind of like a somebody never really argue with the people. Okay, yeah. And as also is it thing na ki um is it kind of like a something very positive gesture to the people? I don't know, dude. Okay, yeah. It's a kind of like I like regarding about my parents now. If I'm not arguing with my parents, I am actually considered to be a positive gesture to my parents. Okay, yeah. Because like if I argue with my parents, I'm gonna hurt myself as well as I'm gonna hurt my parents too. Okay, and I don't want either of those. Okay, yeah. So basically, is this thing na ki no, yaar. Okay, yeah. Like I never really been argue with anyone as also. Okay, yeah. And also regarding about na ki I understand a lot. Okay, like I don't know, yeah. Like basically is this thing I think about different people point of perspective. Okay, yeah. And when I think about different people point of perspective, I was trying to looking at the problem from their point of perspective. And when I see that thing, it's a it's a very different thing. Okay, I don't know how to right now. I'm actually thinking about something and talking about something else. Whatever. Okay, yeah. So am I ever did any kind of like a only positive gesture to the people? Like this is kind of like a only positive things that I did to the someone else. Okay, not today by the way. Okay, yeah. Because let me tell you one thing. In my everyday basis, I usually encountered with a very less people. Okay, yeah. So basically is the thing how much time am I encountered with the people is almost like maybe very less. Okay, yeah. Like basically I'm living with my parents too, But same thing is that ki I don't know, yaar. Like basically, is this thing na ki if I'm kind of like a person who is interact with a lot of people, then might be kind of like a something thing that I would say that ki it's kind of like a something very good gesture towards that these people and that people today. I'm talking about kind of like a something good gesture that I did it for in my entire life. Okay, or maybe the kind of like something the life that I remember till now. Okay, yeah, so this is kind of like a stuff that I'm trying to tell you. All right, yeah, so should I supposed to end here? All right, yeah, this is it, this then, and thank you.